following program is suitable for all ages.
Buffone. A certain magic will always linger with the very name. It speaks of courage and fervor and the world's most brutal game. 55, worn by Doug Buffone, a Chicago Bear through and through. He demanded excellence of himself and anyone wearing navy blue.
You tell me what's going on. This is moronic. We're going to get our whipped all the way down the line. I want somebody to get kicked in the and get out there and play. You're getting paid to play this game. I'm playing right. I don't mind you getting beat. I got my whipped many times. But I tell you, I took somebody down with me. You are a professional team. Act like one, for God's sakes.
Football fans, this is Buffone 55. The John Buffone Show.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Buffone 55, a fast-paced approach at Chicago Bears football analysis. I'm your host, John Buffone. Barflies, can you feel it? The regular season, it's so close, and if that's not enough to amp you up, the Chicago Bears landed one of the best defensive players in the NFL, Khalil Mack, and just in time, too, because the Bears are going to be rolling into Lambeau Field this Sunday night to take on the hated Green Bay Packers. With that being said, I'd like to introduce my guest for today, Cory Jennerjohn. He's covered the NFL, the Major League Baseball, the NBA, NCAA football, basketball, and apparently polo. I'm going to have to ask him about that in a little bit. But he's now writing columns for CheeseheadTV.com, which is the first independent Packer fan site officially credentialed by Green Bay for regular season and postseason games. Hello, Cory. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good, John. This is Bear Packer Week, and like I was seeing some people earlier this week, this game definitely has a lot more juice with Khalil Mack in a Bears uniform.
Absolutely, and if week one Bears-Packers isn't enough to get you amped up, there's a lot of storylines going on. I want to jump right into it. I need to get your opinion on some things. Now, prior to the Raiders trading Khalil Mack over to the Bears, you wrote a column urging Packers rookie GM Brian Gutekunst, I screw that name up all the time, to make a run for Khalil Mack. You also called for the GM to cut players like lineman Jason Springs and Lance Kendricks, the linebacker, to free up some salary to get that trade going. Also to trade Clay Matthews and 2 first-rounders for Khalil Mack. Given all of that, and given all that you would have given up for that, do you feel like Bears GM Ryan Pace kind of committed highway robbery with this?
Yes, I do. Only because of the fact that I really think that Clay Matthews' best years are obviously behind him. He's in his 30s. He's not as fast anymore, and I really think that his best position would be playing from the inside, being an inside linebacker, because he really can't get around the edge that well anymore. And I really think if they were able to swing Clay Matthews and send 2 first-round picks to the Raiders, I really think that would have been a pretty good offer, because at least they're getting a defensive player back. I know the argument for the Bears first-rounders was because the Bears may not finish as high as the Packers this year, meaning that their first-round picks are going to be much sweeter. But with a Clay Matthews type player, I think that may have taken it over the top.
Well, that being said, GM's always a hot topic, especially here in Chicago. One of your latest columns was titled "Solid First Offseason for Gutekunst." Tell us why this rookie GM has kind of gained your approval. What has he done to get things going in the right direction as far as you're concerned?
Well, simply, John, he's the anti-Ted Thompson. He's willing to actually take a swing and do things a little bit different. He's trimming the fat. The fullback position is completely dead right now. There's 0 fullbacks on the Packers roster. He got rid of Vince Beagle. He was a 4th-round pick last year. I know that he was hurt a whole bunch last year. He had surgery on both feet, but he's gone. Basically, the mantra is, if you can't play, you're not going to stay. And I really think that's really starting to take effect now through that whole clubhouse. People are starting to understand, hey, this guy's serious about playing football, and if we're going to stay on this team, we better figure out a way to play the game and play it well.
Now, one of the big things that GMs have to be ready for is injuries. Bears fans know all about injuries. The Packers have started their annual injury epidemic already. Most significantly, 2015 second-round pick Quentin Rollins. He's going to be out for the year. Linebacker Jake Ryan, who started 12 games last year, to the IR. Third linebacker Oren Burks is likely to miss this upcoming game. Are there any other significant injuries that Bears fans should maybe know about? Or in general, how is the team responding to another season of losing key players, early on?
That's another good question mark is Brian Bulaga. I'm not really sure. He was coming back from that knee. He's going to play, but I'm not sure how well he's going to respond playing that right tackle position. Mainly because is he going to be able to handle a Khalil Mack off the edge? That's going to be the obvious question. In terms of other injuries, Nick Perry hasn't had much action in the preseason as well. He's coming back from injuries from last year. So there's just so many guys, so many key guys that are coming back from a lot of serious injuries. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is another one, but he played in limited action early on in week 2 in the preseason. He looked pretty good, had a nice touchdown throw to Jimmy Graham, played one series, and everybody said, all the whispers that have said that his arm strength isn't there, he's not going to be able to make the same throws, I think that's out the window because he can still make all the throws.
Yeah, we're talking about one guy that's not hurt right now, Aaron Rodgers, 16-4 against the Bears in his career, and he doesn't need any big help against Chicago apparently. But like you said, he's gotten some help. Jimmy Graham's there, and they say that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend. But what about running back? Does Rodgers have any good friends out in there in the backfield to take the burden off of him? It seems like this is kind of a committee of running backs going on right now. Where should opponents, and especially Bears fans, look at it, because there's some suspensions in the backfield, and you still got Ty Montgomery back there. What's going on with the backfield in Green Bay?
Well, the backfield is kind of a grab bag right now. Like you mentioned, Ty Montgomery, he's kind of a curveball only because of the fact that he's a jack of all trades, but he's a master of none. Mm-hmm. So his role is still really undefined. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to put him as a third down specialist? They could split him out wide. They could put him in the slot. His role is still up in the air. Jamal Williams, he's obviously going to be the bell call back for 2 weeks. But then when Aaron Jones comes back from suspension, he's slated to be the primary back because he's shiftier, his hips are better, he's got better vision, he's faster. Jamal Williams, he'll hit the hole and he'll run you over. But Aaron Jones is the much better true to form running back that the Packers have. So for the first 2 weeks, I think it's going to be kind of a grab bag, and I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is throwing it well over 65% of the time.
Okay, so let's say we're 4, 5, 6 weeks down the season. Is Aaron Jones going to be able to separate himself to be that bell cow back, or do you see the offensive game plan really sticking to switching guys in and out?
No, I think Aaron Jones is going to be the guy. He's going to get, I'd say, 12 to 17 carries a game. Jamal he'll be next, and after that time, Montgomery he'll eat up whatever carries are left. But unfortunately, Ty Montgomery, this is going to be kind of a transition year for him. He's got to be able to carve out some type of niche, and if he isn't able to do that, I don't see him making the roster next year.
Yeah, he's got just enough talent to be in the league, but not enough at one position to really stick out. I think we've seen that
exactly.
time and time again. Now, I want to ask you about the offensive line in Green Bay, but before I do that, I want to play a clip for you. This is Akeem Hicks talking to some reporters about the Green Bay offensive line. I want to get your thoughts on this. Can we go ahead and play that audio real quick?
Well, I think it affects guys, when they come back from an injury, especially, older guys like Bulaga. But I don't think he had a chance to block Khalil Mack in the first place.
When you see a group that has not played together during the preseason, is that a sign of weakness, do you think, or do you figure that they'll get their stuff together this week?
I really feel like this. They have to put their offensive line together however they do it, and put their best product out on the field. But I don't think their best product can block Khalil Mack.
No, Cory, you hear the guys laughing in the background, and obviously it sounds like Hicks is having a little bit of fun at the Packers' expense. But that being said, is he that far off? I mean, is it crazy to think that, even with Khalil Mack having 4 practices under his belt, he's going to be a force to reckon with?
Yes, for sure he's going to be a force to reckon with. The only guy that has a chance of blocking Khalil Mack straight up is going to be David Bakhtiari. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. Other than that, it's anybody's guess. And, and if the Bears are smart, they would rush Khalil Mack right up the gut, only because of the fact that the 2 guards for the Packers are pretty weak. We've seen that time and time again. It's kind of a swinging gate there at the guard position. Both tackles are decent. Blaga has been more prone to injury on the right side from the right tackle position, but both guards have been very weak, and it's going to be interesting to see what Joe Philbin, the offensive coordinator, Joe Philbin, what his game plan is on Sunday night, because to combat that, do you have Rodgers roll out more? Do you have him throw more quick passes like slants, things like that, or do you just have him operate out of the shotgun more? So it's going to be interesting to see, because Khalil Mack, he's the guy, like I said earlier, in that Khalil Mack column, why Brian Gutekunst should go and get him. He's the guy that opposing offensive coordinators need to game plan against. And the Packers, that's a guy that the Packers desperately miss, and the Bears got him. So that's a guy that Joe Philbin really needs to worry about.
And, we're so used to talking about the Bears' weaknesses going in against the Packers and, what the Packers are going to exploit on the Bears. For once, I want to ask you, what do you see in this Packers team that could potentially be exploited? Is it the offensive line? Is it the lack of a running game? What's going to be, if you have to name an Achilles heel of this team going into week 1, what's something that you feel is exploitable?
Definitely the 2 things we're kind of mentioning, the pass protection up the middle, and in a running game. So if you can stop the Packers on early downs, on 1st and 2nd down, force them into 3rd and long, you're looking really good. Force them into predictable 3rd downs. If Aaron Rodgers has consistent 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, the Bears are in deep trouble, because he can really hurt you. He can obviously hurt you with his legs, but he can easily pick up a 3rd and 4 by scrambling and doing a lot of different things. So if you can make 3rd down manageable for the Bears, I think the defense will be sitting very pretty. In terms of the running game, yeah, if they can just make crowd the line of scrimmage, make a sure tackle. They can't allow Ty Montgomery or Jamal Williams to get to the 2nd level and pick up big gains, because that's when things are all going to fall apart, because that's when Rodgers is going to start to hit his big plays.
We're talking to Cory Jennerjohn at CheeseheadTV.com. Now, we talked about what you can exploit with the Packers. Let's talk about what's impressed you the most with the Packers this preseason that perhaps the Bears coaches are taking note of. What's sticking out as far as the best part of the Packers right now?
I'd say probably the biggest free agent acquisition, Jimmy Graham. And that, everybody, a lot of people that I talk to about that, they say, well, you're going to get the Jimmy Graham that played for the Seahawks. Well, I think he's going to be completely different, because the Seahawks didn't really utilize him the right way. He wasn't really utilized as the receiving threat that he was in New Orleans until later in the season. I think Seattle was kind of late on that whole thing. I think the Packers are going to do this. They understand what his role is. He can potentially be a number 3 wide receiver. They can split him out wide, forcing a corner to play him one-on-one. And if they see that one-on-one matchup, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go to him every single time, because he's a big target. He knows how to do like a basketball box out, having basketball experience, and he just knows how to go up and get the ball. He's got nice soft hands. Another nice added feature with the Packers going out to get Mercedes Lewis from the Jaguars is by playing two tight end sets, that gives Rodgers another interesting big tight end target that will make defenses start to think and have to change their coverage schemes.
A lot of red zone targets for Aaron Rodgers to play with. Before I cut you loose, you care to predict the outcome of this game? I mean, it's highly amped up, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully it's not a stinker. But what's your prediction for this?
I'm still not really sold on. The one guy that I do like for the Bears offensively is Jordan Howard. I'm not really sold on Trubisky just yet because I still think he's got room to grow. I think the Packers will win this one, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think, only because of the fact that the Bears defense has gotten a lot better. I think I'll take the Packers 27-20.
All right, before I kick you out of the barroom for predicting the Packers win, tell people how they can connect with you and read your stuff.
I'm at CheeseheadTV.com. I write a column 2 days a week. It comes out on Saturdays, and it comes out on Tuesday mornings.
Excellent. If people want to follow you on Twitter, what's your handle?
At Cory, Cory Jennerjohn, Jennerjohn.
Excellent. Well, Cory Jennerjohn, thank you so much for coming on Buffone 55. Great analysis of the Packers, and we'll catch up with you sometime down the season. Sound good?
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
All right, now we are heading into the second half. Halftime's over. We're going into the second half, and now I got to bring on my trusty sidekick, and who am I kidding? The captain of this show, Bears Girl. Bears Girl, how you doing?
I am fantastic. I got my Buffone 55 swag yesterday. I am absolutely thrilled.
How cool is that stuff?
It's pretty neat.
Oh man, I was rocking that out. I got some pictures taken with that stuff on today. I'm rocking the B55 stuff all over the place.
Alden, I saw your photo shoot. They are some pretty impressive photos, and they're probably going to be replacing the ones we have on the Swag Shop website real soon.
Ooh la la, all right.
And I can hear Phil and Shane now saying, what the heck? But anyway, let's get into the second half of the show where I ask you 5 questions. Each question you will have 55 seconds to answer. Why 55? Because that's the number your uncle wore, Doug Buffone, for the 15 seasons he played for the Bears. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm amped up. Let's go.
Okay, question number 1. Under Packers head coach Mike McCarthy, the Packers have a 50-21-1 .701 overall regular season record against NFC North opponents. Since 2006, only one other team has a better divisional mark. What are the attributes that you think Matt Nagy has to begin to unseat McCarthy as the division king? You have 55 seconds and go.
Oh, geez, where do I start? Well, if you want to go back and look at recent history or history in general, the Packers have always had a better quarterback, whether it's Favre, Rodgers, and the dynamic playmakers on offense. The Bears have had the superior defense on a number of occasions, but they didn't have the players like Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson on the perimeter to go up and get it. I mean, we had Rex Grossman and Cutler throwing to guys like Bernard Berry and Earl Bennett, and I get it. Those guys were all nice, but they weren't those kind of caliber guys. Eventually, they got Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall, but by that time, the defense sucked. So I think you have to find a way to go into the game like a pack of crazed dogs, to say this culture of losing is dead, to go into Lambeau Field and rough up Rodgers in his own house. But you can't just be the bully. You have to be able to put some points on the board, and that comes down to putting the ball in the damn end zone. You're never going to beat the Packers 9-3 as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. You need touchdowns. If the Bears have the ball and they're up 3 late in the game, you got to go score a touchdown and close out the game instead of kicking a field goal and then putting the fate of the game in Aaron Rodgers' hands. And I know I'm not getting too technical or analytical, and the nerds probably don't like that, but it comes down to making a big play when it's time to make a big play. That's what good teams do. And when a team stops playing scared, that's when other teams start being scared of them. That's what they have to do. Culture change.
Nice. You blew through the whistle.
That's what I do. I play through the echo of the whistle. You know that.
That's awesome. All right, question 2. The Packers have 11 players that have made at least 1 Pro Bowl in their career. The Bears have only 4. Tell me who on this roster has convinced you that they will become a 2018 or later Pro Bowler for the Bears. You are on the clock now.
Well, I think Akeem Hicks jumps off the chart at me. He should have been a Pro Bowler last year, and if it's not this year, it's a big disappointment. He is so disruptive, and when you add Khalil Mack to the defense, there's going to be such an emphasis on Mack that guys like Hicks and Leonard Floyd should absolutely eat every game. Also, I think Trey Burton on the other side of the ball has a great shot at making the Pro Bowl. I predicted a couple weeks ago that he's going to lead the team in receptions, and I think that's the way this offense is going to run. If things go to plan, Burton will have a chance to put up some awesome stats. Obviously, you acquire require Khalil Mack to be a perennial Pro Bowler, and I think that's exactly what he's going to be. Jordan Howard can make it back to the Pro Bowl. I have all the confidence in the world that the running back can make it out to wherever the hell they play the Pro Bowl now, Honolulu, Orlando, to Flint, I don't know. But and also I think Kyle Long is another Pro Bowler that we're going to see. So that's 5 I have this year, but I really think there's the potential for more of that. Maybe I'm too plugged into it, but I think that there could potentially be more out there.
Okay.
Can someone confirm to me that the Pro Bowl is not in Flint?
I can confirm to you that the
All right.
Pro Bowl is not in Flint. Absolutely not. Number 3, given that Khalil Mack has been with the Bears just a few days and Roquan Smith was a late signee and has nursed a hamstring injury, what are your expectations for the both of them in the opener? 55 seconds and go.
I'm actually more concerned for Roquan Smith than I am Mack. I mean, Mack has been there. He's done that. He might not know the extent of the playbook, but clearly he has the physical skills to wreak havoc one way or another. If you say, hey, go rush the quarterback, I think he can blow up anybody on the Packers offensive line right now. So, Roquan Smith not getting a full preseason because of the holdout. He's not able to digest everything. That could kind of slow him down this week or even a few weeks. But once again, this guy was drafted to be a plug-and-play kind of linebacker. So there could be some miscommunications, and Bear fans shouldn't freak out if there's 1 or 2 plays where either one of these guys look like they're lost in the field picking daisies. That's going to happen if you're not completely tuned in. You haven't had the time to prepare. I wish they would be more prepared for the Packers this week, obviously. But if you give me the choice between having those guys on short prep or not at all, tell me who's not going to pick having them out there. So they give the defense the best chance to succeed, and we're going to get our first taste of this Sunday night. Let's hope there's no lingering injuries that creep up, but I think they'll be fine.
Okay, I'm going to pull a Philotoshin and sneak in a question.
All right.
How many sacks do you think the Bears will have on Sunday?
That's so hard to predict. Aaron Rodgers is so good at understanding pressure and getting rid of the ball, and he doesn't really take a lot of contact. I think they have the potential to, let's see, I don't want to give a half number, but I think they can get to Rodgers 3 times. I think 3 sacks is viable with a banged up offensive line and a lot of pressure coming out. I think that's the ceiling, or that's the floor. So go get him 3 times. Hopefully it's more, but I think 3 is not a bad number there.
Okay, question number 4. Our beloved Barflies know that the smartest man in the bar room, who's also in your chat room tonight, has concerns about kicker Cody Parkey. Over at ChicagoBears.com, the one and only Larry Mayer writes that the Bears have no concerns about Parkey. He's made 8 of 11 field goal attempts in the preseason, with 2 of his misses coming from 52 yards. He also connected on all 13 extra point tries and boomed most of his kickoffs out of the end zone. What do you have to say about Cody Parkey? You've got 55 seconds and go.
55 seconds to talk about a kicker? Barrels girl, come on, it's Packers week and we're talking about Cody Parkey? Well, maybe we should, because if this comes down to a late field goal attempt and this guy blows it, we're going to be having a much bigger conversation about him next week. But you look at the history of kickers last year: Mike Nugent, Connor Barth, Roberto Aguayo, Cairo Santos. They still had to pay Robbie Gould some money last year, even though he's been gone since 2016. Since they cut Gould, the kicking game has been a disaster. And you go out and get Parkey, who you hope's the guy. You sign him to a 4-year deal worth $15 million. By the way, you know what the contract was for Robbie Gould that was apparently too high to pay a kicker? 4 years, $15.5 million, only $500,000 more than they give him Parkey. So the Bears must have just evaluated the hell out of this one to give this contract to that kicker, because apparently that was too much to give to Robbie Gould. But this guy is going to be the golden mule for the next four years. So time will tell. We only talk about kickers when they're awful. So as far as I'm concerned, the less I talk about the kicker position, the better. And I think that's what everybody wants. Let's talk less about the kicker and take it for granted that a guy can make a 40-yard field goal.
Well, I'm going to ask you to name your favorite kicker of all time and talk about them just a little longer.
Oh, my favorite kicker, and it's coming down whenever we have two days left, Paul Edinger, the guy who faced the other way before he even kicked the ball. He had the greatest stance of all time, just a smooth operator. Give me Paul Edinger all day. He could go. Sign him now. He might be 65 years old. I don't care. Put him on the field. He'll connect. Mr. Automatic, Paul Edinger.
Nice. Well, we're going to have another former kicker from the Bears. Kevin Butler of the 85 Bears will be joining us on Bears Barroom Radio real soon.
All right.
Last question for you, John. For these last 55 seconds, I would love to hear every reason you have on why you dislike the Green Bay Packers. After all, it is Packer Week. I've got a feeling you're going to need to talk really, really, really fast. On your mark, get set, and go.
Oh my God, it starts at home, just like every other personality trait. I mean, my Uncle Doug hated the Packers. My family hates the Packers. It's genetic. Before free agency, these rivalries were a little more heated. Things have changed now with guys changing teams all the time and not being able to really get into the history of a rivalry, but fans definitely keep it going. I can't stand them. I can't stand the stupid belt celebration that Aaron Rodgers does. I can't stand that stupid Go Pack Go tune that plays throughout Lambeau Field. I can't stand the Lambeau Leap. I want to see a fan push one of those guys back on the field. By the way, green and yellow is a putrid color scheme. For 26 years, you've had Favre and Rodgers at quarterback, and you get one Super Bowl apiece out of them. I get that's two more than the Bears have had, but if you're going to call yourself Titletown, you better have a better resume than that. And you know what I hate most? I hate the fact that the Bears can't kick their ass on a regular basis. It's like having that older cousin that no one likes, but he's bigger than you, so you just keep getting madder and madder and madder. But guess what? The Bears are growing up, and it's only a matter of time before they're big enough to go into Titletown and start smacking the Pack right in the mouth. Let's see if it starts Sunday night. I have high hopes that it does.
The barflies listening in the chat room are loving your rant.
Oh, Packers week. That gets the juices flowing. It's week one anxiety going in with Packers week. I mean, it's the perfect storm. I'm probably gonna run through a wall that morning. I'm getting pretty excited.
Hey, John, before you go, let's get your prediction for the Chicago Packers game this weekend.
Now, I have all the confidence in the world that the Chicago Bears can go in and take care of business at Lambeau Field Sunday night, week one. We're so used to the Bears falling apart on national TV. We're so used to the Packers, having their way with the Bears. I think if they're going to change the culture, this is the game that really puts that into motion. And it's not going to be, a last-second field goal. The Bears are going to score a touchdown to put this game out of reach. So, or at least they're going to score a touchdown to be the dagger. So I'm going to say Bears win this game 27-23 because the Packers aren't going to be able to kick a field goal to win the game, and we're going to have a late touchdown by the Bears. Put an exclamation point. They leave Lambeau with the win. Bears go 1-0. Before we go, I just want to say this episode of Buffone 55 will be on your podcast stream first thing Thursday morning. Make sure you share it with your friends and give us a review on any of the delivery services you get your podcast from. We're on all of them: iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, you name it. All you have to do is search for Bears Barroom Radio Network, and we're going to pop up. Bears Go, did I forget anything we need to go over?
Just a couple of things real quick, John. Join us back here on MixLR on Friday for the Mike North Advantage, which begins at 9 a.m. Central. Can't make it? Then catch the podcast version. And premiering on Sunday morning, right back here on MixLR, is the newest Bears Barroom show, the Barfly Tailgate Show. Created by Barflies, hosted by Barflies, for Barflies. If you're looking for pregame coverage, banter, and non-PG content, this is where you belong. And approximately 15 minutes after the Chicago-Green Bay game, our Bears on Tap postgame coverage will begin live on MixLR with Danny Shimon and Aldo Gandia. That's it for me, John.
Oh, man, I can't wait. And hey, guess what? The next time we talk, we're going to be reacting to the Bears' first regular season game of the 2018 season. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's do this, Barflies. We're going to see you next week. Take care. Bear down.